So I've got quite a bit of time as I drive back from the Ontario tournament. I thought I'd share last night's adventure with you guys. Yeah, a little Lindy rough this morning. The head was Marty McSorley, that's for sure. Yeah, I had all my gear packed up last night and figured I'd hit the lounge for a Kelly Buckburger and some Eric Brewers. I'm up there and I'm enjoying my Bob beers, and I noticed this lady over at the Dave Bar giving me the Peter Budai. Well, she looks pretty good, so I wave her over thinking maybe I can Blake Wheeler, right? She gets a little closer, and yeah, she looked like a Neil Sheehy with a Doug Weight problem. I was convinced she was actually a James Van Riemsdyk. But to tell you the truth, it's been so Roberto Luongo since I've had Dave Sexton that I'd bang a gorilla in a Jordan Tutu if I had to. Yeah, but anyways, we're chatting, and I'm finding it really hard to keep looking into her Steve Yzerman because I'm staring at this big Brian Boyle right in the middle of her face. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I could bring myself to stoop this Patrick Marleau anymore. She's like, oh, I really want to come back to your place. And I'm like, Johnny, oh, do ya? I'm not so sure anymore. So, you know, I excuse myself, go down to the little Daryl Boyce room and, you know, think about things. I'm in there and I'm washing my hands, and she bursts through the door, pulls out my Mike Babcock, and starts giving me Victor Hedman right in the Eric stall. I mean, I was convinced this chick was a Joe Nieuwendyk, but yeah, whatever. So, you know, 23 glorious seconds later, I hand her a towel so she can wipe the Alexei Semenov of her face, and we're heading back to my place. So, you know, I pay the Rick Tabarachi, and out the door we go. Now, there's Garth Snow everywhere. I mean, it's not exactly the middle of Brad May, so, you know, we walk out into a pretty good Theo Fleury. I'm thinking to myself, the only way we're getting back to the hotel by foot is if we got some cross-country Sergei Bobrovskys, right? So we decide to take a Thomas Caberlet instead. So I get her back to the room, and she starts peeling gear, and I Rafi Torres her gear off, and you know, I expose a pretty decent set of Germain Titoffs, and you know, everything's good. Then I get her out of her Lulu Liars, and I discover this chick is super Jason Woolley. I mean, this chick has never been to the Bill Barber, I'm telling you. You know, and I keep my head shaved, so I've got my Donald Brashears, and I could probably shave her down to the Jeff Skinner, but, you know, to tell you the truth, it was a little Ty Ratty, a real Mark Messier, and it was a little Mike Reekie, so I really didn't want to go near the damn thing. So anyways, you know, she sees the disappointment in my face, and she flips herself over onto her stomach, and she says, hey, why don't you take my Dustin Brown Don Cherry? And I'm like, well, I didn't want to go in Leon Draisaitl, right? So I grabbed some Hockett Lube, and then I Pavel Bure it right into her Darren Pupa. Whew, 23 glorious seconds later, you know, I empty my Joe Sakic, and we collapse on the bed. She really wants me to Ryan Spooner, but I'm not feeling so Chris Osgood about the situation. So, you know, I tell her, hey, I got to get up Brandon Morrow and leave pretty Jordan Eberle. So, you know, there's the Daryl Sydor, and out she goes. So this morning, I wake up, and my Michael Pekka is Travis Green, and it Brent Burns. I mean, Brent Burns. So I'm looking back on the evening, and I can't believe how Matt Dumba I was. So anyways, the moral of this story, if you don't want to follow in my Manny legacy, you know, the next time you get Randy Wood on the road, you know, you're better off to use your Hanson brother, all right? Or you're going to pay the Carey price.